The 6 steps to freedom. These are the steps that it really takes to do self-healing, to be 100%. I developed the 6 steps to freedom because I wanted people to do on their own what they did when they traveled from around the world to work with me one-on-one. 8 hours, one person, all day. 3 days of that. Inner work, inner healing, going through their whole lives, what I call the movie of their life. You'll learn all about the movie of your life. You'll learn all about being the observer, as in meditation and yoga, how to observe and step back. All of the yoga programs, all the meditation programs, all the mindfulness programs utilize the observer perspective. And with the 6 steps of freedom, it'll be the only experience, the only training program. Of course, it took me 30 years to figure this out, so I didn't just know this, because I used what mindfulness and meditation and yoga do with the observer perspective for decades. And I added, and you'll learn this in the 6 steps to freedom, a game changer that is so powerful that I got invited to teach in India. First American invited to go to India to teach meditators how to go deeper into meditation. Well, how could an American teach people in India who've been meditating for 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years how to go deeper? Because that's what I learned how to do, because I had to. I was dealing with the most difficult situations in the world. Kaiser Permanente, who is sending me so many thousands of patients, called me the doctor of last resort, because they sent me the people that they didn't know how to help and weren't getting better. They weren't dying. What do they do? With medical problems, psychological problems, emotional problems from childhood, family, work, relationship, self-esteem, addictions, food addictions, so many different problems. So I had to do something that was more than what they had been doing forever and been trained and taught and saw doctors to do. So I had to figure out what is really going to help these people help themselves. Well, these all-day beach sessions worked. And people did get better that hadn't been better ever before, hadn't been better in decades. As long as I followed them up afterwards, which of course I always do, but they got better in those 3 days, all-day sessions. I still do some of those. And makes a world of difference. So I decided I'm going to put this into a program. I'm going to put this into the 6 steps to freedom, so people that aren't going to come from Tokyo or London or New York or San Francisco or South America, Mexico or Canada or South Africa or wherever they were coming from all over the world. Maybe they couldn't afford it. Maybe they couldn't get the time off. Maybe it was just too much to think about spending 3 days all day, 8 hours with me, and then doing all this deep inner work. Well, the people that did great and are still doing wonderful. And I decided I could put it into a program. Now, it took me years to get into the program. I've modified it over time, improved it. But when it comes to the addiction to food, when it comes to the addiction to sugar, it's a big one, much bigger than most people realize. Addiction to carbohydrates. The addiction to the chemical benefits of the food. The addiction to the self-protection of what the overweight and the bigger body actually solves some problems. So like all addictions, there's as much of a solution in them as there is the obvious problem. Because everybody knows if you get really big and your weight goes up, you're going to get diabetes type 2. But what a lot of people don't know is when you lose the weight, let go of the weight and keep it off, the diabetes type 2 goes away. So the negative effects are obvious. Everybody knows that, oh, heart, lung, emotions, immune, everybody knows the negative effects of food addictions. But they don't talk about the positives, the solutions, what's really getting people to feel better. Oh, I'll worry about that in 10 years. Oh, I'll worry about that in 20 years. Right now, I just want to overeat and feel better. That's what I need to do. So, with the 6 steps to freedom, you're going to learn how to really go deep and understand with friendliness and caring and compassion. That's what love is. Everything about the addiction, everything about your movie, everything about your family, everything about the mistakes that you've made, the traumas, the tragedies, the most difficult experiences you've ever had, and how to really deal with your own movie in brand new ways that really work, and how to even deal with the way you're dealing with the movie in ways that are really empowering and calming and helpful immediately and long term. So the 6 steps to freedom is your way of learning how to really take the best care of yourself possible. It doesn't mean people don't go to therapy or don't need medication or don't need programs. Those are very, very helpful a lot of the time. And you also have to be able to help yourself along the way simultaneously. So while the outer approaches, the medication, the groups, the therapy, the support, all the things that are really working, you also want to have an inner healer, inner doctor, inner wise person helping you at the same time. So it's not either or, it's both. There's really no formula or public path or that everybody can do and everybody will get better. Everything has to be tailored, personalized to fit each one of us as individuals. And that's what the 6 steps to freedom does. So every time you go through a step, and you do it all at your own pace, as slowly as you want. You don't have to do it in 3 8-hour days. You can do it 15 minutes a day, half an hour a day, an hour a day, 3 times a week. It's up to you. It's at your pace. You can take a couple of years to do it. It's totally up to you to do it at your pace. That's one of the things you'll learn. Your pace is the right pace. So what you can expect as a result of going through the 6 steps to freedom is you will know yourself better than ever before. You'll love yourself perhaps more than ever before. And you'll know how to take care of yourself perhaps better than ever before and better than you ever imagined. And you will value the things that you're doing, like the group and the medication and the counseling and the fitness and the exercise and everything you're doing to help yourself from the outside, because you're contributing just as much from the inside. I know you're going to love it. It's going to help you with the addiction. It's going to help you really in all areas. You're probably going to love every single step of the way. And I know it's going to make a big difference, because listening to your own inner doctor and figuring out your own steps to get well is probably the greatest gift you could ever give yourself. And it's the kind of gift that keeps on giving.